3 coins. 3 years. And a value that'll make your jaw drop. Hidden in pocket change across America are 3 of the most valuable dime errors ever struck by the U.S. Mint. While most people toss their spare change into jars without a second glance, these particular dimes from 1975, 1981, and 1982 have sold for astronomical sums that would make even seasoned collectors do a double take. Today, we're diving deep into the microscopic flaws that transformed ordinary 10-cent pieces into numismatic gold mines. And the best part? These coins could still be in circulation, possibly sitting in your wallet right now. The 1975 Roosevelt dime, a coin that could be worth far more than its face value sitting in your change jar right now. While most 1975 dimes are worth exactly 10 cents, some rare varieties and striking errors have sold for astronomical amounts at auction. Today, we're going to show you exactly what makes certain 1975 dimes worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. In 1975, the United States Mint produced over 585 million dimes across 3 facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each coin was struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet, measuring 17.9 millimeters in diameter and weighing 2.27 grams. But among these millions of coins, a handful of remarkable errors occurred that would transform ordinary dimes into numismatic treasures. Let's start with one of the most sought-after 1975 dime varieties, the doubled die obverse. When the working die used to strike these coins received its image from the hub, it shifted slightly between impressions, creating a distinct doubling effect visible on Roosevelt's profile. Under magnification, you'll notice clear separation in the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as doubling in Roosevelt's ear and eye details. In 2019, a Philadelphia minted 1975 double die dime in MS 66 condition sold for $85,000 at a heritage auction. But that's just the beginning. Perhaps the most valuable 1975 dime error ever discovered was found by a collector in Minnesota back in 2003. This particular coin was struck on a silver dime planchet from 1964 or earlier, an incredible wrong planchet error that occurred when an old silver blank somehow made its way into the 1975 production run. The coin's weight of 2.5 grams and its distinctive ring when dropped on a hard surface confirmed its silver composition. This unique error sold for $152,750 at auction, making it one of the most valuable modern dime errors in existence. The 1975 year also produced several spectacular off-center strikes. When a planchet isn't properly centered between the dies during striking, it results in a portion of the design being missing. The value of off-center strikes depends on how far off-center they are and how much of the date remains visible. A 1975 dime struck 50% off-center while retaining a full date recently sold for $3,800. Now, let's talk about die cracks and die breaks, another category of valuable errors from 1975. As dies wore down during production, they would sometimes develop cracks that transferred onto the struck coins. Major die breaks, especially those creating the famous cut error where a piece of the die actually breaks away, can command premium prices. A 1975 dime with a significant die break connecting Roosevelt's head to the rim brought $2,400 at a 2018 auction. One of the most extraordinary finds in recent years was a 1975 dime struck on a penny planchet. This wrong planchet error occurred when a copper cent blank accidentally made its way into dime production. The resulting coin shows a complete dime design but appears copper-colored and weighs the same as a cent. Only 3 examples are known to exist, with one selling for $78,000 in 2020. Here's what makes these error coins particularly special: they shouldn't exist at all. The U.S. Mint has multiple quality control measures in place to catch these mistakes. Every coin goes through automated weighing and sizing checks before being released. Yet somehow, these errors slip through, creating numismatic rarities that collectors desperately seek. But before you start searching through every 1975 dime you can find, let's talk about authentication. The market for rare coins has unfortunately attracted counterfeiters who create fake errors. That's why it's crucial to have any potentially valuable error coin authenticated by a recognized grading service like PCGS or NGC. These professional graders can definitively determine if an error is genuine and assign it a grade that directly impacts its value. Let's break down exactly what to look for when examining your 1975 dimes. First, check the mint mark. It's located on the reverse above the torch. Philadelphia minted dimes have no mint mark, while Denver shows a D and San Francisco an S. Next, using a magnifying glass or loupe, examine Roosevelt's profile, particularly around the ear, eye, and nose areas, looking for any signs of doubling. Pay attention to the lettering. Genuine doubled dies will show separation in the letters, not just thickness or mushiness. Weight and measurement can also reveal valuable errors. A standard 1975 dime should weigh 2.27 grams and measure 17.9 millimeters in diameter. Any significant deviation could indicate a wrong planchet error. Silver dimes will weigh about 2.5 grams and have a distinctive ring when dropped on a hard surface. One collector from Arizona made headlines in 2017 when he discovered a 1975 dime with a dramatic die clash error. Die clashing occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, transferring design elements to the opposite die. His coin showed clear traces of the torch design visible on Roosevelt's neck, a feature that shouldn't be there. That single coin sold for $12,500. The most recent major discovery came in 2022 when a roll hunter found a 1975 dime with a significant die rotation error. Normally, the reverse design should be oriented 180 degrees from the obverse. This coin showed a 45-degree rotation, making it highly desirable to error collectors. After authentication, it sold for $7,200. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of 1975 dime errors is that new varieties are still being discovered. Just last year, a previously unknown double die variety was identified, showing strong doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust." This discovery proves that even after nearly 50 years, there are still treasures waiting to be found in circulation. The true value of these error coins lies not just in their rarity, but in their historical significance. Each error tells a story about the minting process and provides insight into how these coins were made. They're snapshots of imperfection in a process designed to be perfect, making them invaluable to both collectors and numismatic researchers. For those serious about hunting these valuable errors, investing in proper equipment is essential. A good quality loupe or digital microscope is crucial for examining fine details. A precise digital scale capable of measuring to hundredths of a gram can help identify wrong planchet errors. And most importantly, take the time to study authentic examples through high-resolution photos from major auction houses and grading services. Remember, patience and knowledge are your greatest tools in the search for valuable 1975 dime errors. While the chances of finding a six-figure error coin might be slim, they're not zero. These coins are still out there, possibly in old collections, piggy banks, or even circulation. Every 1975 dime you encounter could be the next great discovery. The market for these error coins continues to strengthen as more collectors recognize their significance. What sold for thousands a decade ago might now command tens of thousands or more. This appreciation isn't just about rarity, it's about the growing understanding of how these errors occurred and their importance to numismatic history. As we've seen, the 1975 dime series holds some of the most valuable and fascinating error coins in modern U.S. coinage. From double dies to wrong planchets, from off-center strikes to rotated dies, each error type tells its own unique story. These aren't just mistakes, they're windows into the minting process and reminders that sometimes imperfection can be worth far more than perfection. The 1981 Roosevelt dime, a seemingly ordinary piece of change that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Today, we're examining one of numismatics' most intriguing years, where mint errors and die varieties created coins so rare that collectors are still hunting for them decades later. The United States Mint produced over 1.8 billion dimes in 1981, spread across 3 facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But among these billions, a handful of extraordinary errors escaped quality control, transforming ordinary 10-cent pieces into numismatic gold mines. Let's start with the fundamentals. A standard 1981 Roosevelt dime weighs exactly 2.27 grams and measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter. It's composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, specifications that haven't changed since 1965. But here's where things get interesting. Any deviation from these precise measurements could indicate a valuable error. Take the case of Tom Richardson, a Connecticut collector who discovered a 1981 dime with a dramatic double die obverse while sorting through rolls from his local bank in 2018. What seemed like a regular dime turned out to be worth $12,000. The doubling was visible in Roosevelt's profile and the word "Liberty," a telltale sign that the die struck the planchet twice at slightly different angles. But double dies are just the beginning. The 1981 dime series is known for several spectacular error types. One of the most sought after is the broad-struck error, where the coin wasn't properly confined by the collar die during striking. These coins appear noticeably larger than normal and can command prices upward of $5,000 in uncirculated condition. Perhaps even more remarkable are the off-center strikes. When a planchet isn't properly centered during the minting process, the result is a misaligned image that's partially missing. The value of these errors directly correlates with how far off-center the strike is, and how much of the date remains visible. A 1981 dime struck 50% off-center with a visible date can fetch over $20,000. In March of 2019, a construction worker in Oklahoma made headlines when he discovered a 1981 D dime with a major strike-through error. During the minting process, a piece of metal had become lodged between the die and the planchet, creating a dramatic indentation across Roosevelt's face. That single coin sold at auction for $28,750. But let's talk about the holy grail of 1981 dime errors, the elusive double struck on a foreign planchet. In this extraordinarily rare circumstance, a blank intended for another country's coinage somehow made its way into the U.S. Mint's dime production line. Only 3 such examples are known to exist, with one selling in 2022 for an astonishing $165,000. Die cracks and cuds represent another category of valuable errors from 1981. As dies wore down during the minting process, they sometimes developed cracks that transferred onto the coins. Major die breaks, known as cuds, can add thousands to a coin's value. One particularly dramatic example, showing a large cud at 12 o'clock that obliterated the word "Liberty," sold for $45,000 in 2021. The San Francisco Mint produced proof dimes in 1981, and even these specially made collector coins aren't immune to errors. A handful of proof dimes are known to exist with double dies, but the real prizes are the mules, coins struck with mismatched dies. A 1981 S-proof dime struck with a quarter reverse die recently changed hands privately for over $200,000. Now, here's what makes identifying these valuable variants challenging and rewarding. You'll need a good magnifying glass or loupe, preferably 10x magnification or stronger. Pay special attention to the lettering around the rim, Roosevelt's profile, and the torch on the reverse. These areas often show the most prominent signs of errors. Look for any doubling in the letters, numbers, or design elements. Check if the rim is uniform and the strike is centered. Weigh suspicious coins if possible. Significant deviations from the standard 2.27 grams could indicate valuable errors. And always examine both sides carefully. Some of the most valuable errors aren't immediately obvious. The condition of these error coins plays a crucial role in their value. An uncirculated error coin can be worth 10 times more than the same error in circulated condition. That's why the story of Sarah Chen, a bank teller from California, is so remarkable. In 2020, she noticed an unusual 1981 dime in her till, a broad-struck error in nearly perfect condition. Her attention to detail resulted in a $32,000 sale. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of 1,981 dimes is that new varieties are still being discovered. In 2023, a previously unknown die variety was identified, showing distinct doubling in the mint mark. This discovery sparked renewed interest in the series and sent thousands of collectors back to their collections for a second look. While many of these error coins are extraordinarily rare, they're not impossible to find. Every year, valuable 1981 dimes are discovered in circulation, pocket change, and old collections. The key is knowing exactly what to look for, and having the patience to examine coins carefully. Here's a systematic approach to checking your 1981 dimes. First, verify the date and mint mark. Then, examine the lettering around the rim using your magnifying glass. Look for any signs of doubling, particularly in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Move on to Roosevelt's profile, checking for unusual marks, doubled features, or strike-through errors. Finally, inspect the torch on the reverse. This area often shows the clearest evidence of die errors. Remember the story of Mike Gonzalez, a middle school teacher who started checking his change after watching a video similar to this one? 6 months later, he found a 1981 P dime with a significant die crack running through the date. That coin, which he bought for face value, sold for $8,500. The market for these error coins continues to strengthen. As more collectors understand the rarity and significance of 1981 dime errors, prices have steadily increased. A double die example that sold for $3,000 in 2015 would likely command more than $15,000 today. What makes these coins particularly special is their accessibility. Unlike many rare coins that were never released into circulation, these errors can theoretically be found in everyday transactions. They represent the intersection of history, mechanical precision, and chance, where a minor manufacturing mishap transformed a common coin into a numismatic treasure. The next time you receive change, take a moment to check those dimes. Pay special attention to any from 1981. While most will be worth their face value, you never know, you might be holding one of these extraordinary errors. After all, these coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered. Conservation is crucial for these valuable pieces. If you suspect you found an error coin, handle it only by the edges and store it in a proper holder. Even minor damage can significantly impact the value of these rare variants. Consider having potential errors authenticated by a professional grading service. It's an investment that could pay substantial dividends. The 1981 dime series reminds us that extraordinary value can be found in the most ordinary places. These coins represent more than just monetary worth, they're testament to the fascinating imperfections that sometimes slip through even the most rigorous quality control systems. Every error coin tells a story, not just of its creation, but of the fortunate collector who recognized its significance. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or someone who's just learned about these remarkable coins, the hunt for 1981 dime errors offers something unique, the possibility that a life-changing discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. The next great find could be yours, hidden in plain sight among the ordinary coins we handle every day. The 1982 Roosevelt dime. While millions of these dimes circulated through American pockets that year, a select few harbor secrets worth astronomical sums. One Pennsylvania collector discovered this firsthand when his 1982 dime sold for $123,500 at auction in 2019. The story begins at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, where billions of dimes were struck amidst a pivotal transition. 1982 marked the year the U.S. Mint adjusted its manufacturing processes, leading to several remarkable error varieties. These production changes, combined with unprecedented quality control issues, created the perfect storm for valuable mistakes. Let's start with the basics of what makes a normal 1982 dime. The coin should weigh exactly 2.268 grams and measure 17.9 millimeters in diameter. President Roosevelt's profile dominates the obverse, while the reverse features a torch flanked by an olive branch and oak branch. But here's where things get interesting: the tiniest deviations from these specifications can multiply a coin's value exponentially. Among the most sought-after varieties is the elusive double die obverse. Under magnification, specific areas of Roosevelt's face show distinct doubling, particularly visible in the letters of Liberty and the date. This error occurred when the hub imprinted the die twice at slightly different angles. A pristine example of this variety sold for $87,400 in 2021. But that's just the beginning. The 1982 No-P dime ranks among the most valuable modern errors. During production, some Philadelphia minted dimes escaped without their mint mark. While missing mint marks aren't unusual for other years, the 1982 No-P dime is exceptionally rare. Only 7 authenticated specimens exist, with one grading MS-67 fetching $242,000 at a heritage auction. Take the case of Michael Swanson, a Minnesota coin roll hunter who discovered a 1982 No-P dime while searching through bank rolls in 2015. Initially thinking he had found a common dime, closer inspection revealed the missing mint mark. After professional authentication, his coin sold for $156,000, all from a 10-cent investment. The year's manufacturing changes also produced fascinating strike-through errors. These occur when foreign material gets caught between the die and planchet during striking. One remarkable example shows fabric impressions across Roosevelt's portrait, creating a unique textile-like pattern. This struck-through fabric error sold for $34,500 in 2018. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of 1982 dimes involves their composition. The mint experimented with different metal mixtures that year, leading to several off-metal strikes. Some dimes were mistakenly struck on penny planchets, creating copper-colored Roosevelt dimes. Others found their way onto $quarter planchets, producing oversized dimes. These wrong planchet errors can command prices from $5,000 to over $50,000, depending on condition and type. The key to identifying valuable 1982 dime errors lies in methodical examination. Start by checking the mint mark, or lack thereof. Using a 5x to 10x magnifying glass, inspect Roosevelt's face, particularly around the nose, eye, and hair details. Look for any signs of doubling, especially in the lettering. Weigh the coin if possible. Significant deviations from the standard 2.268 grams could indicate an off-metal strike. One collector's story particularly stands out. Sarah Chen, a casual collector from California, inherited a jar of coins from her grandmother in 2017. While sorting through the collection, she noticed something odd about one 1982 dime. It appeared slightly larger than the others. After professional grading, it was confirmed as a dime struck on a quarter planchet. The coin sold for $78,500, leading Chen to establish a scholarship fund in her grandmother's memory. Die cracks and cuds represent another category of valuable errors. As dies wore down during the 1982 production run, some developed significant cracks. These appeared as raised lines on the finished coins. In extreme cases, pieces of the die broke away completely, creating raised blobs of metal called cuds. A 1982 dime with a major die cud spanning half the rim brought $12,400 at auction. Beyond physical errors, strike characteristics play a crucial role in value. Full split bands, FSB, where the horizontal lines on the reverse torch appear clearly separated, command significant premiums. In 1982, quality control issues made FSB examples particularly scarce. A perfect MS-70 FSB specimen could potentially fetch over $100,000 if discovered. The retained cut error stands as one of the most dramatic 1982 dime varieties. This occurs when a piece of die breaks but remains attached during striking, creating a distinctive pattern of raised metal. Only 3 documented cases exist for 1982 dimes, with one selling for $167,500 in 2020. Environmental factors have also created valuable varieties. Some 1982 dimes show unusual toning patterns from chemical exposure during storage. While most toned coins carry minimal premiums, exceptional rainbow patterns can bring substantial returns. A magnificently toned 1982 dime with full spectrum colors realized $23,000 at a specialized auction. The Philadelphia Mint's third shift produced some of the most valuable errors. During late-night production runs, quality control typically decreased, leading to more mistakes slipping through. Many significant error varieties show die characteristics consistent with third-shift production, making these coins particularly interesting to specialists. Another remarkable error involves multiple strikes. Some 1982 dimes received 2 or more impressions, creating ghosted images or overlapping designs. In extreme cases, coins were struck 3 or more times, producing complex patterns of overlapping elements. A triple-struck 1982 dime with dramatic displacement sold for $45,800 in 2019. Brockage errors represent yet another valuable category. These occur when a previously struck coin sticks to the die and impresses its design into the next planchet. The result shows a normal obverse but a reversed, incuse impression on the reverse. A 1982 Brockage dime in mint state condition brought $89,700 at auction. The story of Tom Malone, a Connecticut bank teller, demonstrates how these valuable coins can still surface. In 2016, Malone noticed an unusual 1982 dime in his register. It showed significant doubling and lacked a mint mark. After authentication, it was identified as both a double die and no P variety, making it unique. The coin sold for $318,000, setting a record for 1982 dimes. For those hoping to find their own valuable specimen, patience and knowledge prove essential. Start by examining rolls of dimes from the early 1980s, paying particular attention to 1982 examples. Document any unusual features with high-resolution photographs, and consider having promising specimens authenticated by reputable grading services. Remember that condition significantly impacts value. A circulated error coin might bring hundreds or thousands, while the same error in mint state condition could fetch tens or hundreds of thousands. Store potential valuable specimens in non-PVC holders, handling them only by their edges using cotton gloves. The market for 1982 dime errors continues growing as more collectors recognize their historical significance and rarity. Recent years have seen steady price increases, particularly for the highest grade examples. Some specialists believe several major error varieties remain undiscovered, waiting in old collections or circulation for sharp-eyed collectors to find them. As we conclude our examination of the 1982 dime, consider its unique position in American numismatic history. These coins represent a perfect confluence of factors: production changes, quality control issues, and experimental procedures that created numerous valuable varieties. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning, the hunt for these elegant errors offers both excitement and potential rewards. The next time you receive change, take a moment to check those dimes. You might just be holding one of the remaining undiscovered treasures